With everything going on in the world, I wanted to do a little bit of a different conversation today and talk to you about what's in my go bag. Just in case you're wondering, I've been through Mountain Warfare Training Center, Jungle Warfare Survival School. I was an Eagle Scout, I was a Marine for 13 years, so we're going to dig right in. First things first, we've got water purification tablets. Each one of these bad boys, this is actually not a tablet, it's a liquid, is good for 2.5 gallons of water. If you ever used iodine or any of this stuff, it kind of tastes like crap. But at the end of the day, rather drink tasting water or die of, giardia, right? We've also got the LifeStraw. You put one end in the water, you drink out of it. Better than nothing filtration system. Also, you can build your own filtration systems. Two of the things that I don't have on display right here, mainly because I just didn't think to grab them, are an e-tool, i.e. a shovel that you can fold out and dig with, and a really good quality knife, which I apparently left down in my gun safe. Some of the things that might just be useless here, a towel. Real world, I probably dumped this to save weight because you just dry off on the go. But depending on the situation, right? Nice to have it nearby, you might grab it. We've got a headlight, which does red, because if you don't know, red LED, red light, maintains your night vision. So you can use red lighting at night. You're not going to be as visual as if you use bright white lights. You won't ruin your night vision. So when you turn off the red lights, you can still see your surroundings, which is very beneficial. I've also got this very nifty flint and steel fire starter, right? With a little bit of fire starter, and I've also got, just in case this fails, 2 different sets of waterproof matches, just like I have additional iodine tablets, because fire and water are 2 things that you can never have enough of if you're off hiding in the woods, okay? We've got this random baggie of things. We've got ear protection. Yes, for anyone wondering, these are the ones that 3M got in a lawsuit because they don't work that great. But I replaced the actual Ear Pro in the case with functional Ear Pro. I just like the case. We've got 2 sewing kits, because you may have crap you want to stitch up. And I got a bunch of carabiners and some shoelaces. Shoelaces are a bit redundant, but if something goes off, I'm going to grab my actual combat boots, and I'd rather have shoelaces than not, and you can use shoelace for a ton of things other than just your boots. Then, just in case, we've got 550 cord, 550 feet of wonderful, beautiful rope that you can do whatever you need to with. And just in case, we've got this nice little admin pouch. In said admin pouch, we have a tactical Write in the Rain notebook, right? I've got pencils because they are very easy to sharpen while you're on the move. I've also got a space pen, which can write pretty much damn near anywhere. So between the 2 of these, you can write in the rain, you can do whatever you need to take notes for very important things, and or to just document whatever the heck is going on in the world once all this chaos happens. Some other things that'll end up in the bag. We've got 5.56 ammunition and 9mm ammunition. This video is going on YouTube. So for the fact of this video, we're going to say just the ammunition. There's nothing else that I would ever have with me because that would be bad for YouTube. That being said, why 9mm 5.56? There are arguably better stopping power rounds. 45, 40, 357, right? All better stopping power. 7.62 by 39, 7.62 by 51, 308. Those rounds have better stopping power. I have plenty of things that use higher caliber or more lethal rounds. The reason for 9mm 5.56 is they are the most commonly utilized round in existence. And the odds are, if things really get bad, you're going to run into a situation, assuming you make it long enough, where you may be trying to use ammunition that gets left behind by other people. So you want to utilize a caliber that is most likely to be found in that scenario. If you use a 6.5 Creedmoor or some super unique round, good luck finding the ammo if you run out, right? And you're probably not reloading out in the middle of nowhere. So that's the reason for the more common ammunition. An odd one that I carry with me, if anyone's not familiar with this, little booby trap. So you take a primer shell from a shotgun, you put it in this bad boy, and then you got this thing, and you run a cord to it. And when somebody trips across that cord, firing pin strikes the primer, it makes a very loud noise, and there's no sleeping through it, and there's no wonder whether or not someone's coming into your place, right? On top of that, we've got a rifle cleaning kit, complete with CLP, all the good stuff. Never hurts to keep your weapon clean, right? We've got 8 AAA batteries in waterproof containers because unfortunately a lot of these things use AAAs. So they all have a AAA in it. And they're all flip-flopped so they don't actually charge while they're resting. But then we've got backups. Personally, I like things that you can recharge with solar, but worst case scenario, nice to have battery as well. These bad boys will last a long time. They can use AAA, but I also have a way to charge them via solar. These are ham radios. They're also just normal 2-way radios. They have quite a distance. As you can tell, I've got an extended antenna, so if we need to go long range, we can play the game, but these are great for being off grid. This is just representative of clothing. It's a nice little, neck gaiter to keep your neck warm. Depending on the time of year that things go off, I would choose appropriate clothing to stick them in here. I do have ponchos. I do have a couple of warming layers. One thing I definitely have in here is the Marine Corps boonie cover, and I know some of y'all are going to make fun of me, but at the end of the day, you're going to want a hat that you can make take up very little space and has some level of sun protection, and it sure doesn't hurt to be able to hide in the trees. So this works. We got a first aid kit. Now, I don't want to open this because it took me a long time to get everything back in here. This is a complete first aid kit from Rhino Rescue. It's got everything you could ever need for a basic first aid kit. I then added all kinds of things like a tension pneumothorax needle, which would be used if somebody has a lung collapse, or I added additional quick clot in case there's a really bad injury. There's a tourniquet that I added to this. There's all kinds of things I stuffed in here to make it very hard to reseal, but you get the idea. On top of all of that, we've got wipes for hygiene, a trauma kit, which is going to have additional ways to stop bleeding. So more quick clot, and an actual wound closure kit, sutures, right? So this has like if you bust something open really bad, you can pull zip ties, you can pull it together to help close the wound, help seal the wound, right? I also have a sewing kit. Worst case scenario, you can sew some sutures, but I'd rather do this. One of the other things we got in here, good old MREs. Now I'm just using these as examples. This is what an MRE looks like when you get it. And if you're going to do any of this for survival mode, right, you do what we call field strip. So you take all the crap you're not going to use out of it. You can see, like even just there, we've got at least a third of this size gone. Same amount of food, same amount of calories. The only thing I got rid of out of here was a drink that I'm not going to use. But takes up less space, right? Makes more sense. So at the end of the day, the whole idea is to think of everything. You can't ever think of anything. Just so we're all on the same page. Most of this stuff ends up in a waterproof bag or two. You saw the Ziplocs, right? So you compress the size with the Ziplocs. You take the size down on everything you can. You field strip everything you can. That's why half this stuff, like this fire kit, was bigger. I pulled it into a Ziploc bag. You stuff it all into the waterproof sack. You stuff the waterproof sack. And then at the end of the day, you want a backpack, a handy dandy backpack that can, maybe can carry some ammunition. And that doesn't look super tactical. You don't want to look like the guy who knows what he's doing. You look like you're hiking. Now, if things get really bad, it doesn't matter. It is what it is. But you don't really know how serious things are when they first go off. So it's better to look inconspicuous than to be the guy who is worth coming after. And let's be real. If all this stuff goes crazy and it gets a worst case scenario, you're just going to carry a rifle. So it's not going to matter what your bag looks like. But also, if you have the off-grid space, it's not a bad idea to stage a vehicle and or fuel in case something goes off, with fuel stabilizer, obviously, but you're going to want wheels whenever you can find. I would fill up every water resource you have, right? Generally, that'd be a Camelback that you can carry, right? Stick in your bag, but have potable water. So fill your bathtub put a stopper in it, fill all your sinks, fill all the water jugs, even if you're just leaving them in the house. Because if and when water system loses pressure, you're screwed until that gets replaced for already potable water. So you might as well capitalize on that, take all the stuff you possibly can. You may not use it. You may fill the tub and then leave the house and not come back. But it's better to have the water and not need it than need the water and not have it, like everything. Which is why some of the stuff that's going to be in this bag is redundant, unnecessary, until it's not. This is probably the funniest item in the bag. $10,000. Yes, this is real. This is not prop money. I pulled this out of my actual firebox, buried in my gun safe. 10 grand. The reality with this is it is just as likely when the system goes down that everything will be cash as it is that cash will be completely useless and it'll be take what you can, right? So this could be completely and totally useless. This could end up being fire starter. But at the end of the day, better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, right? In a perfect world, you have 10 acres remote that's close enough you can get to on foot, 10 miles away, 20 miles away, that's hidden, kind of off the beaten path. And at that location, you would have water, food, shelter, staged, out of sight, out of mind, no one knows. If things really got bad, you and people who are close to you know that's a safe place to go. You've got the radios, you've got the things, you never know what's going to happen. It's always better to be prepared and to live by the have it and not need it than need it and not have it ideology. Bottom line, in any of these instances, escape routes, and you should talk them out with your families so they know where you're going to go, how long you're going to wait where, have all this stuff planned out, communication, all of that's great. Food, water, shelter, beans, bullets, band guides. You should know where the stuff is that you want to avoid. You should have sustenance. You should have a way to stay out of the weather. If you can do that, you can last a fair amount of time. If you want a list of some of the stuff that I put in there, none of this is affiliate code. I'm not pushing any of this, but if you just want to see some of the things I put in there, see the description. Also, I am not a prepper, right? So like, this is things that I've learned through like survival schools, Marine Corps. I guarantee there are things I missed. If you are a prepper or you're like, holy crap, how'd he miss this thing? Help me improve my go bag. Comment down below. But I bet you there was something in here you didn't think of. Let me know that too. We all win if we're all prepared better. Hope you got something out of this video. I know it was a little different than what I normally do, but subscribe and follow along for all things military and military finance, and have a great freaking day.